What it do, peeps? It's the B Chef with Watch the Damn Tape. Welcome in. Hit that like, that share, that subscribe button. Hit that bell to get notified when I drop my next video. New subscribers, thank you for joining. I appreciate you for joining. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you love WNBA conversations. To my old subscribers, my day ones, appreciate you for helping me build this platform and continue to get it pushing. All-Star game starters have all been selected. The reserves came out. We all seen all that. Now the waiting game comes. We get to see who Nafisa and Caitlin Clark pick as their teammates. That's going to be very interesting. Just wanted to touch on a couple things that had been circling around. I don't really too much care particularly about All-Star games. I voted on this one this year. I voted on the one last year. The year before that, I didn't really even care, to be honest. Dearica Hamby, she said this: whatever about me, but taking two and not including the best player from a below 500 team is crazy. So what she was referring to, she's referring to Kiki Irefin, Sonia Citrone, and Brittany Sykes, because Brittany Sykes didn't make the All-Star game, and the two rookies did. I just thought that was interesting. She didn't vouch for herself, but she vouched for, on a below 500 team, Brittany Sykes. Mind you, she's on a below 500 team, and Kelsey Plum made the team. For transparency, on my ballot for the guards, I voted for Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, Sonia Citrone, and Brittany Sykes. And I voted every day, and I would either take Brittany Sykes off, and I would put Alyssa Gray on there. The forwards, I had Nafisa, Asia Wilson, Brianna Jones, Ryan Howard, and I believe it was Kiki Irefin and Kayla Thornton from the Valkyries. Those were the forwards, because there was more forwards than guards. They didn't distinguish between the forwards and the centers, which I thought was dumb. But they made the forwards it was just, you could only pick centers and forwards in the forward section. So those are the ones I picked. And I constantly picked Kayla Thornton every day. Never took her off, never took Kiki Irefin off. Brianna Jones stayed on my ballot the whole time. I voted every day. And you had the option to vote every day. I mean, people could use different emails and you could vote however you wanted to vote to get your players in there. That's what it was. Dearica Hamby's team is, at the time of the voting started on June 12th. It ended on June 28th. At the time of the voting, her team was 5-11. 5-11 through that point. She had been the top scorer on her team maybe one time, and that wasn't a loss. The Washington Mystics were a game below 500, and Sonia Citrone had been the leading scorer a couple games. Kiki Irefin had been the leading scorer a couple games. The reason why I voted for Kiki Irefin and Sonia Citrone was specifically because I've watched every game they played. Kiki Irefin at that time had battled every big that was of size outside of, hell, somebody in Minnesota. She battled Tina Charles. She had battled Brittany Griner. Timmy Fing Bailey with the Valkyries. She battled Asia Wilson. They beat the Aces. Smacked them. Straight up. Kiki Irefin had, in a short period of time, proven that she didn't take any shit from veterans in the league. And that she was not a rookie, wasn't the normal rookie. The reason why I voted for Sonia Citrone was simple. Sonia Citrone, Brittany Sykes was the leader of the team early. Brittany Sykes got hurt on a road trip. They were playing the Valkyries. She got hurt. Sonia Citrone became the leader of the team during Brittany Sykes' absence. And to Brittany Sykes' credit, Brittany Sykes wasn't one of these selfish vets that was in the league. Brittany Sykes poured into Sonia Citrone and didn't mind sharing that mantle with a young player. And Sonia Citrone had a game face the entire time and balled out game after game and took respect from veterans in this league. They started game planning on her. She just spoke about it with Candace Parker on a broadcast that Candace does with the rookies and focuses on their games. They took notice. I took notice. That's why she made the team. That's why she made the All-Star game. Dearica Hamby, you play those same Mystics on July 15th, and then you play them again on the 22nd. You gonna have to battle with that Kiki. Get ready, because she done went to war with everybody, and she got all their respect. Just noted. Jonquel Jones also popped off about the All-Star selections, and she had this to say. Nothing worse than playing like an all-star and not being one. With that being said, thanks to all the people who took the time to vote for me. Congratulations to the All-Stars this year. Jonquel Jones was balling out of control. Jonquel Jones' last game was July 11th. At that time, she had a couple 20-point games. Was undeniably the best player on the Liberty. Won them some games in that game stretch where they were undefeated. She got hurt on the 11th. The voting started on the 12th. When she went down, they said she might not be back until after the All-Star game. I'm not sure why Jonquel Jones is complaining about not being on the All-Star team. Even the people in the comments were saying, hey man, we voted for you. We voted for you. One person even told her, he said, we didn't think you were going to be playing. You were injured. That's why we didn't vote for you. I don't get, a lot of people didn't understand it. It was very weird to hear Jonquel Jones. And it lends to a question. Do they want the accolades, or do they want the money for making an All-Star team, or do they want both? And I'm leaning towards the accolade. I think they just want they want somebody to rub their head and tell them that they're great. I don't think it's about the money. The money's like $2,000. It's like a little like $2,300 to make the All-Star team. I mean, to make the All-Star. Everybody gets $2,300, and the All-Star MVP gets like $5,500. I don't think it's the money. I just think it's the accolade. I think they want their shine. They want to know that they're the best of the best. I voted for Caleb Thornton because Caleb Thornton, when they beat the Mystics were the first team that the Valkyries beat. That was the first win in franchise history, was against the Washington Mystics. She played extremely well, and every team they played after the Mystics, it was a problem, and she was scoring like crazy. And there was one stretch during June, Kayla Thornton was averaging like 20 points and like 13 or 14 rebounds and a few assists, and they were winning. She deserved the nod. Dearica Hamby, you were on a 5-11 team. To be honest, the only person I voted for that wasn't an above 500 record was Paige Beckers. That was it. That was it. The reason why I voted for Paige Beckers was simple. I want the old folks out. I wanted to see hooping, and I wanted to see if she's on the team with Caitlin Clark, because we had missed them that first time, we didn't get to see them play. I wanted to see Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark go at it in the All-Star game. Also, I wanted to see Paige Beckers, see if they guarded Paige Beckers like they guarded Caitlin Clark in the All-Star game. I wanted to see that. That's what I wanted to see, because we didn't get to see Paige Beckers play Caitlin Clark. I wanted to get as many opportunities for those two to see each other, because Dallas and the Wings and the Fever only play twice a year. So I definitely wanted to see that matchup. Two great passers, two great scorers. I wanted to see them light it up or be on the same team. However it was going to play out, that's what I wanted to see. So Paige was on my ballot the entire time. A'ja Wilson was on my ballot. A'ja Wilson didn't move. Kiki Irifin didn't move. Nafisa Collier didn't move. Sonia Citrone never moved. Those I kept all those. But I'm looking forward to the game. Looking forward to the vote. Let me know how you guys voted. Leah, if you fill out a ballot, let me know who you voted for in the comments. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, I was watching some podcasts over the weekend. I'm not gonna say who they were, but it's some people out here, man, that have got some real damn problems with race, and they're black. There was a guy on a podcast, I'm not gonna say the name of the podcast, but he literally said MAGA people are hacking into emails and voting for that girl. They never would say that girl's name, but they were referring to Caitlin Clark. And it was weird. Through this whole show, and I watched about 30-45 minutes of it. Through this whole show, they would never say Caitlin Clark's name. But they would only say that girl. And they would say that MAGA people and the president were logging into emails and voting for Caitlin Clark and like Kelsey Plum. It was the funniest, stupidest crap I've ever heard when it came to sports. And they really, but nobody challenged this guy. None of them. They let this guy talk. And he just kept saying, the MAGA people. You know, the MAGA people do the vote and they support. I mean, he went on a whole tirade about how it's different with MAGA and them voting for players as opposed to just black folks voting. He said that they have a little bit more passion about their players than black people when it comes to their favorite player and voting. But it was a very interesting weekend all around the All-Star game. It was the craziest thing ever. Between Dearica Hamby, Jonquel Jones, and this guy talking about MAGA people hacking into emails that they were so concerned about the All-Star game, they were hacking into people's emails to vote. Just random people. He didn't supply any data or any proof. He just said they were hacking into emails to vote. But leave your comments on your ballots and who you voted, and let me know. Until next time, folks. Peace.